Dude, I need to go. We need to take the guy who responded on Twitter. Let's take him to the beach, and you'll see Tom Brady out there throwing the Nerf ball to like his son.
Yep.
And he's gonna be like, "Hey, what the are you doing, man?
Yep.
Hey, get on the field. You take this seriously. What are you doing?
What,
you play
Nerf?
professional football, and now you're playing with a Nerf ball with these little kids. What are you doing, man? You're having fun with your family?"
Yep. That's Twitter. That's Twitter. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the podcast, the show dedicated to talking about all the progress things in life, like music, content creation, and video games. I'm one of your co-hosts, JesseKazam.
And I can't keep a straight face. No matter what. I can't, ever. I literally just got an email. And it says, hello, open bracket, influencer name, close bracket. My name is Veritas.
Oh,
like, oh, you fucked up your little script.
Yeah, the like autofill. Oh god,
poor guy. He's like, he must be like an intern or something.
Hello,
influencer name.
I'm Veritas. Now, if that's not, I mean, you just sign the contract, whatever it is. You just say I'm in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it also said the sponsorship opportunity for October. Want to follow up to see if you had a chance to review our sponsorship opportunity for the month of October. Yeah, I did.
I sure did.
It's November, so what do you think?
What do you think you can glean from that information? Oh my.
Influencer name is not interested.
God, bro. That's incredible.
Yeah. So what's going on?
I mean, not a whole lot in the Tarky world. We had the Sanitar event that ended. DMZ came out yesterday. I'm sure you played that.
Tarkov's dead, dude.
Tarkov is officially dead, bro.
Rest in peace. January 17th, 2009 to whatever the insert current date.
Yesterday, 2022.
Yeah, rest in peace. F to pay respects.
Yep. Yeah, it's actually funny because it's been the exact opposite of like, well, dude, we'll get to it. Oh my god. But in Tarkov land, nothing happened. The Sanitar event ended. I don't know if you saw, they did. So like the event ended up being super fun and one of the most widely enjoyed events. It was one of those things where it was so localized even on customs that if you had customs quests to go to dorms, you were going to be there by yourself. So like if you're somebody who doesn't want the Chad PvP, you could go to any other map or anywhere else on customs and basically do your quests. If you do want the PvP, there was a centralized location with no like bullcrap shenanigans on like, yeah, but you're also going to spawn with 3 limbs blacked out. And it was just like PvP. They didn't add HP to the bosses. They just added extra guards. And it like, from what I could tell, everybody was like, it's simple. That's all we've ever wanted. Like, just give, end wipe, just give us the PvP catalyst and it's fun. So, like, it seemed like everybody was really digging it. And, like, a bunch of people got their quest done because they couldn't get Sanitar to spawn on Shoreline. And so it was super fun. It was it was just like shenanigans, viewer kits, budget kits, Chad kits. Like, it was just fun. And then when that event was still going on, they released another one of those cryptic Russian messages. And it was like something
was
about.
It in a bottle?
No, it was, and it was like, what did it say? It was something like Sanitar's office, like we're going to go investigate Sanitar's office. So everybody was like, oh, check labs, check Shoreline. And then but nothing happened. And the Sanitar event was still happening as normal. And then like the next day, the whole event just ended. So like, they didn't release the note and end the event. They released the note and kind of teased the second part of the event, but then the event never changed. But then the next day they just ended the event. So that was confusing, but it's over. And then, other than that, there's, literally nothing going on at Tarkov. The event was cool. The event is over and here we are. So yes, but I did see, obviously we got Warzone 2 and DMZ released yesterday. Did you, I saw you posted a video today and I watched like 10 seconds of it, but I've been so busy today. Tell me about your experience in the DMZ.
Yeah, so I'm
so interested.
I of course played solo.
Yeah.
As is usually
of course.
the case. It was actually a lot of fun. It was definitely it felt a lot like how it used to feel when I was playing PUBG back in the day.
Yeah.
Where it was like I could compete with, a bunch of people, but like winning is like that hard,
Yeah.
Extracting wasn't as difficult as like winning a game in PUBG.
Yeah.
But it was definitely challenging.
Yeah.
I think I maybe exfilled 2 times. One of them was like I got a really sick like LMG
That's
and like
dope.
some others, and it had like a full backpack, and was like and the thing was like 300 meters away. I'm like, I'm just gonna go, and I just like left. I was in there for like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
The second time, it was like a decent raid, like a decent normal raid. Yeah, I think that was probably it. I think I exfilled those two times. Didn't end up like getting a whole bunch of stuff. I think I just wanted to exfill. Yeah. So then the one of the third like potential candidates, I literally fought like what felt like 1,000 of the AI.
Bro.
Looted like a million things. There was a dead body. I literally only got to loot one dead like PMC body, like player body, and it was someone else killed them. I got a few kills, but it was always like the first out of a 3-man, and I just got wrecked by it. Because the sound is good, but it's really ambiguous. Like it's not ambiguous, but it's really quiet.
Like footsteps
so
and stuff.
Subtle.
It's pretty subtle.
So after looting all of that stuff, and I'm like, I don't even know at this point how to exfil. I think this was like, I think this was early.
Yeah.
And I'm like asking chat, like, how do I exfil? I'm trying to figure out like, what do I do? I go over to the green smoke. I hit F. There's like 45 seconds left on the timer, and then the radiation comes in, and right as the helicopter's about to come in, the radiation sweeps over the zone, and it says, "Oh, sorry, not going to exfil here. You got to go elsewhere." So I'm running along the edge of the radiation, slowly dying. No ammo, so I ended up dying to just some AI because I couldn't make it out.
Yeah.
And every time I'd go down, I could like crawl to safety, but I can't get up.
Yeah, you don't have a teammate. Yeah.
If I don't have the self-revive thing, you just can't get yourself up.
Yep.
So yeah, and then the final one, which is how the video both starts and ends. I like grab a helicopter. I did like a mission. I had like, however many thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Like gold bars and like just a whole bunch of more valuable stuff than I had ever seen. And stole a helicopter, ended up getting chased down. They're like, "Oh, you're getting chased by an enemy."
Oh, an enemy
helicopter.
squad. Yeah.
No. It was like an event kind of thing where
okay.
like a boss in a helicopter chased me, so I like landed in the middle of like this compound, and I had the RPK, and I literally have like, I just cut it all together, so it was like 700 shots of me just going at the helicopter. It went down, so there's a big crate that you get on the top, and I got like a P90. Now up until this point, I basically had used like 3 stock guns, and then I died with all of the things. I never exfil with anything, so I was using the free gear, which is basically randomly generated garbage, like a pistol and a shotgun or whatever. So I was like P90, and then there was like a 6 sniper rifle and a whole bunch of other stuff. I'm like, yes. I go 900 meters away to the nearest exfil. The timer's ticking down, calling the helicopter. Helicopter lands. I run on the back of the helicopter, and it's 3, 2, 1. Someone runs into the helicopter, and it goes 1, 4, 3, and they shoot me, and I'm crawling in the helicopter as it's 2, 1, and they kill me with 1 second left in the helicopter as I exfil. And they jumped off the helicopter.
They jumped off to loot you?
I'm assuming my body like fell through the helicopter.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
So, yeah. When someone jumps on the helicopter, it resets the timer, which is really fucking cool when you're solo.
Yeah, that's interesting.
When I was running, because you can't free look.
Yeah.
If you turn, you're slowing down. So I'm like, I'm just gonna run.
I wish
like,
you could free look. Yeah.
Yeah, eyes forward. I'm gonna run. And right before I got on the ramp, I was getting shot, but there was AI around me, so I
Everywhere,
thought it was
yeah.
AI, but this was a player. So once I got on the helicopter, I was like, oh, thank God. 3, 2, 1. Basically, take my hands off the mouse and
Yup.
keyboard, and then all of a sudden the timer's at 4, and I'm dead. It was the most like
Damn.
I alt F4 and was like, okay, Mom, I'll play this again another time. I think
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
the pressure of like all of that time and the stress and being like, I have good shit, and I'm gonna, So yeah, I don't even really know like what it's like to take stuff out. I didn't play long enough to get the insurance.
Yeah.
I didn't take out any player guns. So
Yeah, no, it's really interesting. I played for 15 hours yesterday. I just like it is just ridiculous amounts of fun. But yeah, it is really interesting. I will say like it's an interesting kind of like I don't know, man. It's so fun. So like taking stuff out of raid, it doesn't really do anything. Like, so you had that P90, you had some gold bars, you had all that stuff. Like if you had extracted, you would have extracted with the guns. Everything else on your person would have become XP. That's all those gold bars, all the cash, all of that. Like it just becomes XP. You level up, you're back at your stash, and you have the guns. And guns, and then the things that persist are your armor vest, if you have a kill streak, the self-revive kit if you had one, and a gas mask. Those things won't turn into XP. You'll have those. And so it's really interesting because in the more I played it, the more in a lot of ways I see some, like, the way I've been explaining it is like DMZ is like 70% Call of Duty and Warzone, 15% Tarkov, and 15% like DayZ. And that sounds weird, but like in DayZ, what's the end game? There is no end game, right? It's like your life. Your life is the end game. How long can I live?
You have a kind of an ephemeral, temporary-ish kind of
relationship
stash
with your person. Yeah, because you just like, boom. So what's interesting is that like a lot more of the gameplay loop than I thought is like you can basically like take your DayZ character and roll it into your next raid, where it's like if you have a 3-plate vest, a large backpack, a gas mask, a self-revive kit, and a kill streak, going into your next raid, all you have to do is quest or PvP. You have the things. Everything else you take out turns into XP, and it's a really good XP grind, by the way. It took me like, it took me probably 20 or 30 hours of Call of Duty to get to level 15, or sorry, to get to level 55, because the level is consistent through Warzone, DMZ, and multiplayer. That's just your freaking level. And I had 10 hours of double XP tokens, and it took me like 30 hours to get to level 55. I'm level 99 after my 15-hour play session. The XP is insanely good. So it is a good way to level up. And so extracting, the more stuff you extract with, the more XP you get, the
so you're
cooler
saying
guns.
The XP from DMZ is better per hour?
Yes, it's better per hour, yes. And you can freaking click double XP tokens, which I haven't. But it's like really good XP, especially because if you extract with a lot, like I played 2 raids with Sealable Bag yesterday, and one of the raids he killed a bunch of players, and he had $100,000 on him. And that $100,000 it adds a ton of XP, and the money, cash money, directly reduces your cooldown on your insurance. And $100,000 reduced his cooldown by 2 hours and 19 minutes. And the cooldown is like 2.5 hours. It's 90. It's like.
Wait, so you're saying 100,000 in like items?
No, in cash from items that had sold at players that had got a bunch of stuff, sold their stuff at the buy station. They just had cash on them. You know what I mean? And so, anyways,
I don't know what you mean because I didn't get to loot any players.
Okay.
So.
Well, anyways. What I'm saying is like it's got an interesting, a really unexpected, a little bit of like DayZ vibe in the sense that like it's similar to DayZ, right? Like so much of DayZ is getting loot. It's like,
imagine if DayZ was a BR, but you had like your stash in your hideout where you have your stuff. It's kind of like
and you can extract to that stash whenever you want.
Yeah,
because like and that unlocked it for me, where it was like when I died, if I died in a fair fight, I didn't care as much because I felt almost like just like a freshie. Like when people die in DayZ, like it's veterans, like it hurts, and that's why DayZ's fun, but they're almost like excited to be like start the journey over, like, ooh, I'm a freshie.
Yeah.
So it's like you start, like when you die, And so that's what's interesting. Everybody's like, a lot of people, very understandably, and I agree. What's the end game? I'd like more things to do with money. I still feel that way. However, I'm glad I got to play. I'm glad I'm playing the game first before they did that, because there is something special to no matter how much of a Chad you are, not being able to go back to my stash, put on a large backpack, a 3 armor plate, a self-revive kit. You know what I mean? Like, imagine like a version of Tarkov where every time Landmark died, he started his PMC with a scav kit. It'd be really fun to watch Landmark, because you're like, he's so good. He's so much better than his kit. How is he going to climb through the ranks? Does that make sense?
So but you can, if you're good enough and you're taking out, let's say, 2 guns every raid or whatever, then you'll always have a gun.
Always have a gun. You'll always have a gun, and even potentially a really good gun, but you're always going in with a single plate armor, which means you are incredibly squishy. Like, we're going to talk about that.
Backpack.
You're always going to come in with a small backpack where you can't stow an additional gun, and you're always going to come in without a self-revive kit. So like, these things dramatically increase your survivability, the 3 plate and the self-revive, you know what I mean? And no matter what, no matter how good you are, no matter how much of a Chad you are, if you die, you're going in with a single armor plate. And I thought I was really going to dislike that. And I'm not saying it's perfect, and I'm not saying things shouldn't be changed, but I really appreciated it. Because that's how, like, when you think about so many of my personal mauled sessions about Tarkov, you know, I'm talking about like the flea market and the civilian flea. I don't want instant access to the best armor and the best stuff all the time. Well, this flips it. There's no market, and you can't even save the best armor. You can save the best guns, but you can't save anything else. So I kind of weirdly like fell in love with how it does things. I definitely wish, like, there's a ton of simple and low-hanging fruit things I think they could do to, like, for you to use money outside of raids that would generate a lot of, like, long-term. Like, my contraband stash is full. Those 20 guns, which, by the way, it's only 20 if you have the game, the $70 version of the game. It's 10 if you just download it for free.
EOD.
Yeah, EOD. Exactly.
Win, dude. You got an MBSS backpack there too?
So like, my 20 is full. Like, let me extract with my money and charge me $1 million to add 5 more slots. You know what I mean? The contraband weapons you find in raid, like if you kill a boss and he's got like an RPK, but it doesn't have an optic, he was using iron sights and it would be any gun that's contraband, any gun you find in raid, even if it's another player's gun, you can't edit that gun. You can't swap out stuff. Let me take a gun and spend $100,000 to get it into the gunsmith and make my edits. Where it's like, I'm not buying the gun. I'm actually going through my stash of guns I saved and then spending additional money. So there is some low-hanging fruit of like stuff they could do to make grinding money like worth it, which I think would add a lot. But I really didn't expect to enjoy that system where you don't have a big backpack and you don't have the 3 plate every raid. Because I think if you could buy those things already, 28 hours later, everybody would be running them. It's just like, that's how it would be, like, permanently. And there would be nothing. So it's really, really interesting. It's really, really interesting. The DayZ, the kind of one life thing you can extract, but it's still on your one life. And then the Tarkov aspect of extracting, and then a little bit of the BR. So like, people have talked about the intensity curve of a BR, right? Like, if you hot drop, it's really intense. If you win the hot drop, the intensity goes way down because it's a giant map and most likely people everywhere. And then the thing that people complain the most about in BRs is the mid game. 10 fights happen in the beginning, 40% of all players are gone, and the rest of them, even if they're Chads, are just like, where is everybody? But
and it's like, it's super boring, but you have to be on alert everywhere because there might just be a guy running in the woods.
Yes.
And
then from that moment, the intensity is a solid ramp, because if the longer you make it, the more intense it is. What's interesting about this is you get a little bit of that if you so desire. You can leave whenever you want. So like, I was talking to a nice guy, and like, this is what I was talking to him about. Like, in Tarkov, there's a time limit, but the farther you are into that time limit, you can still extract anywhere you want, right? So like, When there's 3 minutes left, you go, I have 8 extracts available to me. What's the closest one? As the radiation, as you saw earlier, as the radiation expands, it consumes the extracts, and you don't know where the final extract is. So if the later you are in a raid, it almost becomes that battle royale intensity curve where like, I'm not going to make it to that extract before the radiation hits, and I don't know where the radiation is going to send me the last extract. I'm just going to move north, and then you get it, and you know if there are any other players, at that moment, the only chance for survival for all of these players is this extract. So then it becomes a battle royale. It's just last man standing wins. So like, it's a really interesting balance of those things, and I think I enjoy it more than I thought I did when I was watching Dr. Lupo play it.
So at the end, is there like there's an exfil? Do you still take the helicopter route?
Yes. So it consumes.
So technically, like in a BR, you kill everybody and you win.
Yeah.
That's the only way. Technically, you could be like, "Yo, dog, I've got some stuff.
Yes.
Can we just take the helicopter together?" And you can,
There's VoIP, and you can do that, and you can.
The first player I saw was running along, and I heard, like.
Yeah, okay. I was like,
what the fuck was that? Like some like Turtle Beach microphone. I was like, oh, and I saw the name pop up in red, and
And
I
if
was
you,
like, whoa, shit.
If you hold Alt and swipe to the right, you can invite him to join your squad. And if he accepts it, you now have a marker for him, and friendly fire's turned off for you guys. So you can actually like negotiate with a guy, send him an invite, and if he accepts it, friendly fire's off. Like, you guys are homies now. And you have a marker for him everywhere. And
I didn't even think about friendly fire because I played solo.
Yeah. You guys can then separate and do whatever you want. You can come back together. So in DMZ, it's only squads of 3, but the squad size is up to 6. So a squad of 3 and a squad of 3 can link up. Friendly fire gets turned off, and you 6 can roll around, but you can't. But you have to find that organically. There's no way to like that I know of to like stream snipe each other or your friends.
You can try and Q snipe.
Yeah, you can try and Q snipe. But like, isn't that interesting? So like, you could do as a solo player, you could actually try and like find either 3-man squads. It's called assimilating, and assimilate with them, or you can
a fucking Borg.
Or you can find another solo and assimilate with them. I watched a clip of.
Oh God, you might not even know. Do you know the Borg?
The Borg? I don't know, maybe.
Oh, fuck.
No.
Okay, never mind. Just continue. Just tell me the story.
I saw a clip of Mr. Given was playing with One Peg. So they had a 3-man squad, and they rolled up on a solo, and they assimilated him in the group. Now it's a 4-man squad. They run up on a 3-man squad, and they invite them all, and the first 2 accept. And now it's a 6-man squad, and the third in a group that's no longer in a group, and they kill that guy. And he goes in the chat, he's like, "You stole my friends, and then you killed me." And it was like hilarious because they found a solo first, so the numbers didn't add up. Anyways.
Oh my God.
So it's really interesting, but it all just becomes XP in the end. You know what I mean? It's just.
So people were saying that like
guns. You're just extracting guns, really.
And I don't know if this is just Twitch chat being Twitch chat. Because I was getting mixed signals the whole goddamn day. Everybody was saying like, "Oh, once someone takes the exfil, you can't take it," because I had taken 20 minutes across the entire map on foot, and then I see the helicopter as I'm running, and I'm like, "Oh my God!" And they're like, "Oh yeah, you can't take it anymore."
True. You can take it,
but you just wait a little bit, and the smoke pops again.
Now the only exception.
People were also. Oh no, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say is the final helicopter when the radiation consumes the 3. That final helicopter, if it lands on you, when that helicopter lands, it waits 70 seconds, no matter what. So like that final helicopter is different where you can't get to it first, pop it, and leave. It's going to leave at a specific time. And so you have to defend it.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So some folks were saying that like some of the junk that you grab that it isn't like dollar value junk are like quest items.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So those. Because people were saying like, "Oh, the stash system doesn't make sense to me," and I was like, "Stash? Like, what do you mean by stash?"
Yeah,
like do those items go in a stash?
Yeah, no. So basically, you could look through your quests. You can accept the quest. So, like for instance, I had one to extract with 6 bandages, and the bandages are like contextual looting, right? They're in like medicine cabinets and stuff like that. So, I extracted, and I had 2 bandages on me. And they like at the successful extract screen, it deletes them and it shows progress on that quest. It says you've extracted 2 out of your 6 bandages.
Oh,
So
okay.
those things never reach your stash, but any active quests, like if I hadn't had that quest active, they would have just become XP. But because I had that quest active, it tracked it. Does that make sense?
So is your stash just guns?
Guns and keys. You have a key stash and a gun stash.
Right, yeah.
Yep, but that's
Yeah,
it.
I got a few keys. I got like a key card, and of course I'm like South Station bunker key, like I'm like dorms 214.
Exactly.
Like, what is that?
Exactly. Yeah.
So I had no idea, but I didn't make it out. Actually, I made it out with 1 key, but I didn't realize that
You probably went back in with it and
No, I didn't.
Oh.
Because I asked chat and they said that it gets consumed if you you lose it if you die. And I'm like, well, I'm definitely gonna die, so I'm not taking anything in with me unless I play with a squad, which I want to try it again with a squad.
There are key cards, and the key cards unlock strongholds, and those do get consumed when you die. But any key that has uses doesn't get consumed when you die. But yeah, I mean, dude, we had some of the most intense, just like, it feels so good to have those intense moments again, dude. I had some of the most intense moments. There was a moment where like we were running from the radiation, so all the extracts got consumed. There's the final extract. We were running to it. It was me and Velian. Nice Guy had died and got full killed and left in the radiation, so we couldn't go get him. We're on the helicopter, and it's that final one. So we're on the helicopter, and it's like 30 seconds, 29. Like, we just have to wait it out. And another team rolls up. I crack one, and just all 3 just, boom, roll up. And so they get me down in the helicopter and full kill me. But Velian was just derping around, and so he was on the exterior of the helicopter. You know, there's, like, seats. He was sitting on that. He was like, I wonder if I'll extract if I'm out here. And the team didn't see him. So through the window, he had an LMG, and he just goes, and full kills all 3 of them. My body fell through the helicopter. He goes underneath the helicopter and starts full rezzing me, which takes forever at 14 seconds. Okay, I pop up back alive with 3 seconds left until the helicopter back on, and we both just grab onto the sides, come up, and the helicopter extracts. And it was like literally down to the second of like the last.
You didn't get to loot those guys, obviously.
No,
right?
I like grabbed one of their guns on our way up. You know what I mean? Like, that was it. But it was just like such, like, literally that was the final extract, the final seconds, the final other squad. That was the battle royale moment where like we were the only ones that left that alive, and we fought for it, and it was super sick. But then there were other raids where we got a quest item, and we were like, yo, there's an extract right here, let's just go. It can be whatever you want it to be, you know what I mean? So
I felt like reading through I made the mistake of reading through some of the comments on my video. But a lot of the people that mentioned the AI are like whining about how they're like the bots are bad. I think honestly, I feel like it's the perfect. Give me a lot of them and make them stormtroopers.
Those people
make it so that if I don't hit my shots and if I'm standing out in the open, then I'll die, right? But like if you have decent movement and decent aim, then you can take down 100. I like that.
The AI is so good. I don't want to say perfect because it's not perfect, and my judgment on what good AI is so skewed because I've played 5,000 hours of Tarkov. But the AI is JesseKazam perfect. It's not perfect. It's JesseKazam. It's the balance of the light AI, the medium AI, the heavy AI, the bosses, and the juggernaut provide a really wide range of experiences. And then the difference in how much AI you can take on with 1 plate versus 3 plates. Like me and Valiant and Nice Guy went on a spree. We survived like 11 in a row. We got used to that. We died. We went back in with 1 plates and we got full killed by AI because we were so used to having 3 armors and 6 additional plates.
Yep.
And that experience,
they'll one tap you.
It's a best of both worlds. It keeps you frosty and keeps you on your toes, but like you can kill them. You know what I mean? Like And also, like, just pay attention to the AI for 3 seconds. Like, when you shoot at them, they'll dive behind cover. They'll go, like a lot of the heavier AI, if you shoot off their helmet, they'll fall over and another AI will come up to them and like try to help them. Like, their like movement is like really cool. Now, yeah, of course, sometimes you'll just have a bunch of them standing in the middle of the road doing nothing. And yes, they miss a lot of shots. Thank God. Like, I can't believe we're in a universe where like players play Tarkov a lot, then play DMZ and complain about the AI. If you're a COD player and you're complaining about the AI, I totally get you, Poppy. You do you. Man, but if you play Tarkov and you're complaining about the AI, dude, I don't know what universe you're living on. It's so good. It's a numbers game. You have to be careful, but if you're careful and if you're set up, like, if I'm careful and if I'm set up with plates and if I understand my situation, I'm not going to get one-tapped by AI. That is a promise you can't make yourself in Tarkov. If you're set up, if you're knowledgeable, and if you do every single thing right, sometimes you just die anyway. And there's literally nothing you can do about it. And maybe some people enjoy that. And I guess on some level, I enjoy that in Tarkov if it was contextual. If I died maybe to a sniper scav or something. But the fact that like the other day, you know, I died to a rogue or an AI that has a VPO with no buttstock, iron sights. He's pressed up against a fence. The gun is literally barrel stuffed. It's pointing down at his own feet.
He's walking back to the left.
And he shoots me. And that contextually, like if I get one tapped out of nowhere from a sniper scav, that feeds into the power fantasy of like, holy cow, I'm not Superman. But like what 90% of those things in Tarkov, it's not contextual. It doesn't feel good. It feels like absolute garbage. So the fact that I can make myself that promise in Call of Duty, that if I'm careful, if I know the AI I'm approaching and if I'm prepared with my 3 plates and my, like, I'm not going to get one tapped. I'm going to be able to respond. I think it's so good.
The TTK felt really, really good on all of the enemies. Like the fact that I was able to like take down a helicopter with an RPK single-handedly is like, but it took me like 5 minutes. All
your ammo, yeah.
Like, and it just so happened I was in like a stronghold, so it was just like boxes of ammo, so I could constantly refill. But like that's cool, right?
Yes.
In Tarkov land, people would say, "Oh, well, one person shouldn't be able to take down a helicopter." And it's like, well, listen, the game's fucking better because of it. So I don't care what you think I should be able, what I should be able to do or shouldn't be able to do.
Yeah,
the game is better. If I want to get cucked, then I'll join the fucking Marines right now.
Yep.
If I want to play that fantasy, I will join the Marines right now.
Yep.
And you'll see me back here in approximately 1 week when I flunk out of fucking basic training because I don't want to do push-ups.
Yep. The TTK on players, perfect. Literally what we said, like what we talked about, it's like we played the beta, you and me played the beta a little bit we played the beta of the multiplayer, and then I played a lot of the multiplayer since it came out. And the time to kill is so fast in the multiplayer. And literally what I said was, I bet DMZ is going to have a plating system, and I wonder if that's your base HP, but you have 3 plates, how is that going to feel? Every single engagement we had with players has felt really good. Really good. The time to kill, literally, I had to like stop the stream and be like, chat, this is a thing that happened. We don't see this in Tarkov. I was playing duos. So we was playing with Nice Guy and Valiant had to dip. So it was just, so now we're kind of at a disadvantage because there's mostly squads. I was playing with Nice Guy. I was running. I was like trying to plink AI because I had a quest and I was sliding, and then just like I got wrecked. All my plates went down and my health was low. I popped my stim and I was just like, I think this is players. I turned around and I was able to turn around. I bolty looked in on this guy, hit him, and he had low armor. So I cracked him and he went down. And then I just ran, and Nice Guy killed his teammate, and then Nice Guy downed the other teammate, and we full killed him. I was like, that doesn't happen in Tarkov. I had the opportunity. If I had missed the bolty shot, if I had missed my opportunity, I'm dead there. But I had the opportunity to respond. And if he hadn't been so exposed, if he had been behind cover, I wouldn't have been able to hit the shot. So it wasn't like unfair to him that I had the opportunity to respond, because he could have been in a better spot. But I got to respond, and because of that, I was able to win the fight. And because I won that 1v1, we won the 2v3. And we got to continue in that raid. And it was like, I was like, chat, this never happens in Tarkov. I was like, this is so sick. Like, this feels so good to be able to do that.
Dude, you know what would be here's my new vision of like what a perfect Tarkov like game would be. Take Tarkov, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Remove all of the scavs, put all of the AI from DMZ in, but just make them Russian and whatever. I say that in terms of like their behavior and their accuracy at various levels. Already an instant like upgrade.
Instant.
You change many of the aspects. So what I would want would be DMZ like animations and movement, but maybe add some amount of a little bit more weight.
Yeah.
A little bit more inertia. Now, what I did like is like when you dive, now I might be remembering, but it felt like you dove and you're like, ugh, and then you could aim.
Yes. Yeah.
Like there was which is like, that's exactly what I want.
Yeah.
Make it so that you don't just dive and insta, because that's how it works in Tarkov, actually. You know, in many respects, you can kind of dolphin dive and drop shot. It's easier in Tarkov than I feel like it was in DMZ.
Just a slower animation, but once you're down, you can instantly shoot. Whereas in DMZ and COD,
yeah. So, but I mean, like the vaulting, the running, the just going in the water, swimming, transitioning up, pulling out your gun, all the animations. It was fucking perfect. If it was like literally make it 90% of the speed it is now, maybe slow it down a tad, and give yourself a little bit more weight, and then put that movement in Tarkov. Like related to that was the mounting of weapons on corners and barriers,
bro.
Dude, it's like seamless. How you run up and I have it on my front thumb button, so I would just go up and go, and it was just like you'd be running up and just go whoop,
it's
and
so
you could just,
seamless.
Oh, and the best part, dude, the first time when I was like, went to reload, and he just stays aim down sights, and it's like, oh, it's so fucking beautiful, dude.
So good. How sticky it is, where you can move on it, but it doesn't pull you off. But then when you press like S, you pop off of it and you stay ADS. It's
like climbing up the ladder. How you could look.
Yeah.
You had like 340-degree field of view. Like you couldn't. Chucky, not Chucky. Exorcist, like spin your head 360 degrees, but you could go like. You could see basically 360 degrees if you went full left and then full right. So just like subtle things like that.
And even that's contextual. If you have a bolty as your secondary, you can't do anything. If you have a Glock as your secondary on the ladder, you can pull it out and shoot people.
Yeah. So, dude,
so
like
sick.
The movements, the AI, and some of the other like movement and weapon handling mechanics are like unbelievable. Just drop those in, replace what we have in Tarkov, and and I mean, this is probably a little bit more controversial, but I would love to have fucking like plates, whether or not like they were as common or whatever, but like actually imagine if you could have plates like 1, 2, or 3 in Tarkov, but they were like rarer. So but I mean, like, even if you caught someone who had 3 plate like off guard, and you hit a couple of headshots or whatever, like the time to kill is still pretty reasonable.
Oh yeah.
I mean, compare it to Tarkov, where if you have an SMG with blue tips and they're wearing a Fort and Alton, they are unkillable.
Yeah.
Like the time to kill is literally 80, 90, 100 bullets. So like people want to complain as if Tarkov's time to kill is so low. Honestly, I feel like it's exactly what I said like 6 months ago, where the maximum needs to be brought way down and the minimum needs to be brought, it still should be a one-shot headshot, like a 50 cal headshot, right? But like, maybe if you have a helmet, then you should be able to tank a few 9mm bullets, right? But like not 60. Just compress it, and dude, I think Tarkov, that would be like the fucking perfect game.
Dude, I get it, bro, and I and there's definitely like a beauty to the simplicity coming from the Tarkov experience, where it's like your enemy is just 1, 2, or 3 plates. You know what I mean? It's not like Zabralo, Fort, this rig, that rig, class 5, class 4. It's just 3
2
plates.
and 6 armor of different materials and different durabilities.
And like, and I agree that I'd love to see some sort of middle ground where like by every other video game standards, it would be a very complex video game, but by Tarkov standards, it'd be a simple one. Like, there's a game right there in the middle. You know what I mean? 50%, you know, like a game literally half as complex as Tarkov.
Like Zero Sievert.
Would be a game, well, an FPS literally half as complicated as Tarkov would be the most complicated first-person shooter out there other than Tarkov.
Yeah,
that's
what
how
I'm saying.
far above the rest. You know what I mean? Every other shooter game has this like 1, 2, or 3 plate mechanic. Like a game that stripped 50% of the complexity of Tarkov would be the most complicated FPS game aside from Tarkov. And in that realm, you could do a whole lot where it's so much more like intuitive, but you're rewarded for the knowledge. You know what I mean? Like I think, of course, easier said than done, but I'm tracking with you. Like, I do think there's something there.
Yes, like when I mentioned Zero Sievert, like the fact that there are a couple different bullet types, but they tell you the penetration value. Now, I don't know how it works, but it's like it seems like, you know, Tarkov Light, where they actually tell you some of those things, and there's not 17 different options, right? There's probably only like 3 or 4.
Yeah. I ultimately think that like what DMZ and like DMZ specifically, because Warzone is obviously a much more PvP focused thing. Like, they added the AI to Warzone, but like Warzone is 150 people drop in, 1 person leaves, right? Like, it is PvP. What DMZ does so well is it delivers to you the perfect power fantasy. Like, when I've got a bolty and I roll up to a gas station, I know from the 15 hours I've played that the gas station AI is the tier 1 AI. And I can literally just like, boom, 1 shot, 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 reload, and they're all dead, and I hit them all in the thorax, and it doesn't matter. I feel like a god. I feel like an operator. And then when I've got the appropriate kit and I go into the higher AI stronghold areas and I'm like, you know, shredding plates off of the AI, you see that happens, I feel like a god. And they deliver that power fantasy so well without going too far. I died to the AI so many times in this game, but I still feel like a god when I'm fighting them. Does that make sense? Like, they struck a really weird balance there where like, they're and almost that's the point of Tarkov though. So once again, I'm not saying that this is a negative of Tarkov, but it's almost like the point where like there is no power fantasy. You're not better than anyone. Anyone can kill you. You have to rely on your smarts and your wit. And so it just feels good to have like a game nail that, where like in a game like Warzone, you could go 8, 10, 9 raids in a row where you hot drop for the PvP and you die to the first person you see because you got bad RNG, right? You got a pistol, he got an LMG. And so you don't feel very powerful except for the raids that you win. But every round of DMZ, you kill 20, 30 AI and you feel like a god. You feel like an operator. And then because you feel so good, when the players come and they just absolutely ice you, you're like, oh, whoa, you get humbled. And that little roller coaster is the substitute, you know, for some of the roller coaster of emotions that Tarkov puts you on. And it's like, and once again, it's just different, man. It's just a different game, and that's okay. Like, I am still like, there's no shot I play this more than I play Tarkov. Like, I love Tarkov. I'm super excited for Tarkov. I love the brutality of Tarkov. Yes, there are some things I've been very vocal about in Tarkov that I wish they would fix, and this game does some of them very well. AI, for instance, but it's like, it's such a different game, and it's like I had somebody on one of my, which didn't really care, but I had somebody on one of my Twitter, because I tweeted out yesterday. I said, Jesus, I feel like people want a dissertation on why I like DMZ. It's fun. That's it. If you don't think so, that's okay. You're not wrong. It's not a perfect game, and I'm not committing my life to it. I'm just a gamer playing a free game and having fun. And like, somebody went off on me, which I found hilarious. And they were saying like, well, I just think you all give off a vibe of having some sort of hardcore authority on Tarkov. And when I see you all playing DMZ, it's like some happy go fun time. It's disingenuous. And it's like, the assumption there is that because I love Tarkov so much, I exclusively want games exactly like Tarkov forever. Like, he's absolutely right. It is happy-go-lucky playing DMZ.
That's the fucking point.
Yes, exactly. He missed the point went way over his head. He's like, you're such a hardcore Andy and Tarkov. You know, this, I'm assuming this is his thought process. You've got guides on the literal like differences in pen and damage on these guns and min-maxing and meta. To see you out there just enjoying your time in a game as frivolous as this, it's disingenuous, bro. And I'm like, that's the freaking point, is that like, you're assuming that that's the only experience I want for the rest of my life. And so like, I'm so tired, and I get it, and I'm going to have to keep doing it, but I'm so tired of qualifying all my statements. But it's like, that's why I'm having so much fun, is because I've come from this experience, and it's so fun to just not care and just like I had more fun playing DMZ yesterday than I've had playing Tarkov in probably 2 or 3 wipes. That doesn't mean I think DMZ is a more fleshed out game, and it doesn't mean that I want to sink more time in. It means that I'm so ingrained in this community, and I've wrung that rag so dry that having this other thing was so good. You know what I mean? It's like, my wife she's so funny when like her favorite soda is Dr. Pepper. So that means if Dr. Pepper is an option, it's Dr. Pepper. Like, yeah, Coke is my favorite soda.
Well, if they don't have Dr. Pepper, she better not fucking get anything else.
Yeah. Well, there's that. But then there's like, Coke is my favorite soda, and she knows that. And if she orders a Dr. Pepper and I go, I'll have one too, she was like, well, you don't like Coke anymore? Like, it's so funny. And that's exactly it. It's like, stuff can be 2 things. Like, I can love more than one thing, and the love for and what's so funny on top of this is like, it's such a cool thing in the gaming community to reflect on the games we used to love and we still love, right? Like, Halo Infinite came out and everybody was like super reflecting on Halo and stuff like that, and everybody wanted Halo to be good, and it wasn't. It was like, wait, well, now you play Tarkov, you can't play Halo. Halo's a pleb game. You know what I mean? And it's like, so it's weird that we praise the nostalgia of all these games that by today's standards nobody would probably like, and then when games try and capture some of that, we're like, oh, well, you can't do that because you play this, and like, it's so weird. But DMZ just does that, man. It delivers that power fantasy. It's fun. It's got the stress. It gave me the one more raid thing. I don't think I could play 1,000 hours of it, but like, I want to play more. It's so much fun. It's so much fun.
Dude, I need to go. We need to take the guy who responded on Twitter. Let's take him to the beach, and we'll see. You'll see Tom Brady out there throwing the Nerf ball to like his son.
Yep.
And he's gonna be like, "Hey, what the fuck are you doing, man?
Yep.
Hey, get on the field. You take this seriously. What are you doing?
What,
you played
Nerf?
professional football. Now you're playing with a Nerf ball with these little kids. What are you doing, man? You're having fun with your family?"
Yep. That's Twitter. I was thinking about this earlier. Everybody loves to like reflect. Like, I don't know if you've seen that, because you probably aren't as much in like the gaming Twitter, like outside of because I follow tons of like Call of Duty people, Apex people, like stuff like that.
I mean, so do I. Like, I follow Tim the Tap Man and the Doc,
so, like,
and all those.
There's such a movement in gaming now to be like, gaming's different. Like, I wish we could go back to the way gaming was when Modern Warfare 2 originally came out. And there's a whole
these days.
Yeah, and there's a whole trail of thought of like, well, you're different, you know what I mean? So like, you weren't worried about your mortgage or your job when you, but like, well, seriously, I think something is that like, smaller groups of people want to band together, and in larger groups of people, it's cool to be different. So like, part of it is just like, when you were playing Modern Warfare 2 in 2009 or 2008 or whatever, you were only playing with 6 dudes. You know what I mean? It was like your squad. And that was your whole circle, bro. You know what I mean? It was like, you were on MySpace maybe, but that was your whole circle. And groups that small want to band together. So maybe it wasn't your favorite Call of Duty, but you kind of told yourself it was, because the whole group was vibing with it so much. And it was just like, it was like you guys were tight, and it was this, and it was your homies.
It was you and your homies, the 6 of you, and then everybody else who played Call of Duty, fuck them.
Exactly.
I hate them all, right?
Exactly.
Whereas now everybody
the
in
circle's
Tarkov,
too big. I can't open Twitter and not see like like 63-page threads on Twitter about why like certain attachments are overtuned, or like the millisecond of how long it takes to get to ADS from a slide because they removed slide canceling, how skill-based matchmaking is ruining the game, or how aim assist. It's like, even if those issues were there back in the day, we wouldn't have seen them. We made up these issues when we sicked too many people on a problem. You know what I mean? Like, too many people arrived at these problems, that the circles are too big. And so now it's fun to stand against the grain. This game is dog trash. Well, you barely saw it. It's dog trash. Like, if the trailer for Modern Warfare 2, the OG, dropped, and you told your friend group that was dog trash, you got excommunicated. It was like, fine, go play freaking last year's COD, you dweeb, and you didn't play. But now it's cool because everybody freaking likes it, and it's, you know what I mean? So it's like, I know it's more complicated than that, but I was like processing this the other day, where it's like, the smaller the group, the tighter we want to be, and the bigger the group, everybody just wants to be like freaking, everyone wants to bring their unique perspective, so they make up a unique perspective to appear like their perspective is unique. And it's like, I feel like that is one of the biggest reasons that gaming has changed, is it's just like, you care about so many other people's opinions now. Not you, but like the proverbial you. Whereas it just used to be you and your 4 homies, dude, and that was it. That was legit. That was all you cared about. And if you all just agreed it was good, and it was fun. And that's it.
Yeah, amen, dude.
And then on top of that, the expectation of gaming is so different now. You know what I mean? Like, people are like, you know, how you like in DMZ? And I'm like, it's so much fun. And they're like, well, like, what about the end game? Could you play this for like thousands of hours? And I was like, what are those?
Are you gonna get your money's worth, bro?
Yeah, I was
you
like,
gonna get your money's worth?
I was like, those things are in the same conversation, but why are they like always tied together? You know what I mean? It was like, don't lie to me. Every single person listening to this, every single person while live, you, me, we've all bought a $60 single player game, played it for 3 hours, and forgot about it and never played it again.
Mm-hmm.
We've all done that.
Yeah,
did you get your freaking
150 times.
money's worth? Like, the maximum amount of enjoyment you could have gotten out of that game was probably 40 or 50 hours. You only got 3. And nobody's like banging down your doors to arrest you for it. All I did was use this bad boy and clicked download. And I played for 15 hours yesterday. And I nobody accepted the answer. It is fun. It's fun, but what about the end game? But what about three years from now? You still gonna be? But it's like, I clicked a button, and I had 15 hours of fun. Since when is that a bad thing? It's the expectation is 10,000 hours of everything, and it's like, drives me nuts.
Now, since all the people in the YouTube comment section, their wives or their moms let them have internet time.
yeah. Yeah. So it's nuts. So
they gotta, you know, write comments like, all I've seen from this video is that you're dog shit, and you just die to the AI, and then you die, or you kill AI and then die to the first players you see. Yeah, man, but like, it was like,
and then
whatever.
Instead of tweeting what I did tweet last night, I almost tweeted a list of all the things that I was told that this game was by people that didn't play it. DMZ is Plunder 2.0. It's Warzone with bots. It's Tarkov Lite. It's Battlefield Hazard Zone 2.0. It's, you know, Warzone with extra steps. It's like, and it's so funny because everybody agrees on all of those things, except all of those things wouldn't be the same thing at all. Tarkov Lite would be very different than Plunder, you know, like, it's just, oh my God. People like, we're so addicted to labels. It's insane.
No, I mean, people, I mean, that just goes for everything, man. People care too much about so many things that have nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
People care about, they want to care about the games you play. They want to care about the types of content you make. They want to care about how many viewers you have. They want to care, like, people are fucking weirdos, man.
It's crazy.
People are just fucking the internet. The internet has made people. Well, I don't know if it's made people weirdos or if the first 32 years of my life I just never came across them
Well,
because
yeah.
I mean, granted, I don't live in Florida, so
Yeah.
I probably would have seen a few more people on bath salts than I have, which was zero in real life. Although I do have some stories to tell you. And I've been thinking about that actually, having story time on the podcast.
Stories.
Because I've got some that I need
Juice
to
time.
share. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, dude.
Have you
Everybody's
ever
just
heard of the Lifeboat Theory? It's like, I mean, it's not like a proper theory. It was just like, that was just the name for it. It's basically like that people basically look at life as if we're on a sinking lifeboat and we need to toss one person off. And so we view the world constantly sizing up ourselves to make sure we don't feel like we're the one that's about to get thrown off. So if I don't enjoy DMZ, but everybody enjoys DMZ, I'm going to get left behind. So me not enjoying DMZ means now it's my subconscious mission to remind you that Tarkov is better because I like Tarkov. So if Tarkov is better, you get left behind for enjoying
insecurity.
DMZ.
So what you're saying is it's insecurity.
Kind of, but it's just like we look through life through that lens so often of just like, I need to make sure I'm at least more important than someone so I don't get thrown off the lifeboat. I just heard somebody say that once and it stuck with me. It's not scientific at all. I think an author said it. You know what I mean? But it always stuck with me because like that's how I feel like it is. When people come in, like all those times when people are like, we were watching Dr. Lupo play and they were like, this game's dog water. And I was like, you're so scared that it's going to be good because you just don't like it. This game just isn't for you. You can tell. And you're so scared it's going to be good and people are going to stop playing your game. You know what I mean? Or whatever it is. Like, and I see it. And it's like, and it's so brutal.
Those are the people that like boo when someone like messes up a song or singing performance or whatever. It's like I'll boo if there's like a racist guy making a speech, right? But just why bring the negativity into the world?
Exactly.
Like,
why? You know what I mean? Like, you know how much easier it is than typing up that message of just like clicking on another stream? You know how much easier that is? Like, I don't really like this game.
No,
do I need to tell everybody I don't like this game? Or should I just skip to the step where I inevitably go to somebody else's stream and watch a game I like?
No, dude, but there's something, I mean, like, I'll just say it bluntly, like there's something wrong with them that they have to tell you that they think there's something wrong with you when half the time they're either wrong or
exactly.
That like the thing that they don't like is not even something that matters, you know?
Yeah.
Like, oh, you know, no, I'm not, no need to come up with it.
No need to. Like, anyways, that was a tangent. And that was a Jesse needing to vent some of that because I understand it. And then just like we've talked about many times, and then all of the genuine people get wrapped up in it. You know what I mean? Where like somebody legitimately just comes in and is like, Jesse, I've been excited to watch you all day. How do you like DMZ? But right after I had a 10-minute conversation with a troll, you know what I mean? And I'm just like not in the headspace. Like that all gets, and then like you said before, like I feel like such a douchebag for like responding poorly to that person. And then like my tweet wasn't even just about people that hated it. Like we just talked about, some of the people that loved it were like, oh, I like it too. But what about this? What about the endgame? And I'm like, dude, I'm just trying to be fun. So it all gets tied up and it's rough. So that was just like a tangent for me because I was like losing my mind the past 24 hours. But the thing is that like, the 15 hours I was playing, it was just like pure dopamine. I was having so much fun. I end my 15-hour stream, I lay down on the couch and open up Twitter, and it's like instant, like the opposite of dopamine. You know what I mean? I'm just like, and then I just had to close it because I was like, because what's crazy about our society is that 15 minutes of me looking at Twitter and being so frustrated can like almost feel like it negates the 15 hours of fun I had. You know what I mean? And like, I'm like, oh, screw that. So I just like closed Twitter and I was like, bump this. I just tweeted that and I was like, I'm done.
You really are like you're me on like a 6-month delay.
On a timed release Veritas.
Now I know some people will comment this, and I will admit, like I fear this as well. Like I hope that I'm not like rubbing off on you.
No.
My like what's the word I'm looking for? My I'll just say my guess. My guess is that like the reason why, you're coming to a lot of the same conclusions that I have is not because I've been saying it for so long and you're parroting me, but more that like because it's true.
Yeah.
And like you're getting more viewers, which means you're getting more shitheads, which means you're dealing with more bullshit.
For sure.
And unless you were to hit the threshold of 10 or 20,000 viewers, where now the individual voices get drowned out in the crowd and you can just game and not even pay attention. You can game.
Yeah.
Don't answer any questions except for 1 per hour.
Yep.
If it's in a donation or to thank subs.
Yep.
That's why the guys like fucking Tim the Tatman and Summit and whatever.
For sure. They keep their sanity because it's the collective emotion that comes through. Like with us, we can read like one message and it can like sour our mood and be like, but when the chat's just flying, if most of the things you see are happy things, you're like, oh, chat's happy. You know what I mean? And then you can just move on with your life.
Yeah, I mean the way it feels to me is it's like imagine there's somebody booing, but there's 1,000 people all like at a concert. You're on stage and you're playing, right? And there's one guy booing and you're just like, fuck that guy. You know what I mean? Like you can all kind of ignore that guy. Imagine you're at like an open mic and there's 6 people in the crowd and there's 2 of them going, "You suck."
Yeah,
it's like
or even
completely
60
ruins
people
the vibe.
In the crowd. Those 2 people carry so much more weight. Yeah.
And you can't act like you don't hear it. You can't pretend like you're not annoyed by it. You know what I mean?
You know what? That's such a great example. Think about an open mic night. Like let's do a 1-to-1. Think about an open mic night and there's 500 people in the room and 7 of them are literally just like, "You suck. This is the worst. Did you think about this?" And then somebody walks on stage and goes, "It's best to just ignore them." Yeah. Like that's the insanity when people are like, just don't feed the trolls, man. Just don't feed the internet trolls. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's to us, to the creator, they're so loud and they're disrupting. And in a comedy club, in that situation, if you were enjoying yourself, if you were having a good time, you'd never place that on the comedian. You'd never be like, you'd be like, security, get these guys out of here. But in a Twitch
it's
stream,
easy to do that. If someone's screaming, "You suck," then you can get security to kick them out. But what happens when there's the guy that's like, "Hey, do you know any Smash Mouth? Hey man, can you play some of Nickelback or whatever?" And you're like, they're not
they're
explicitly
riding
being
the
a
line.
major, but they're just being fucking annoying or rude without realizing it. But at the moment you're like, "Hey dude, just shut up." They're going to be like, "Whoa, what the fuck? You're an asshole." And then someone at table 7 is going to be like, "Hey, man, he just wants to hear his favorite songs. Why are you getting upset with him?" And now half the crowd's turning on you and you're like, "I just want to play. Shut up."
Yep. It was just a joke.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, that's the perfect example. But everything is politics these days. Everything is people. They need to feel as strongly about Tarkov as they do about like the Roe v. Wade. Like it's everything's the most important thing. And if you disagree, like we are going to fight about it in real life. That's how passionate I am about it.
Also, everybody was like the number one question before DMZ, before we saw it, before the Dr. Lupo thing was, do you think it's going to kill Tarkov? Do you think it's going to kill Tarkov? Man, let me tell you, the best thing for Tarkov ever in its entire history was DMZ coming out. Because I've never seen so many people fight so hard that Tarkov's a perfect game and this game sucks cheeks. You know what I mean? It was like everybody just like forgot the 4 years of constant complaining about Escape from Tarkov when this game came out. And it was like the AI sucks in this, the movement sucks in this, it's so much worse, Tarkov's so much better. Like the best thing for Tarkov ever was another game coming out in the genre, because boy, did those people turn it around and latch on to Tarkov and snuggle up. And it's so crazy. And you can tell when you scroll through the feed, you can tell the people who have the elevated thinking on both sides. I've read many people say they dislike DMZ, but I can tell that they're like, but it's not that big of a deal. Like, you know what I mean? And I can see people, it's like, oh my God, but so many people, it's crazy how they just turned around and all of a sudden Tarkov was like the best game ever made. Oh.
Dude, like literally just on this one page of comments, I just randomly scrolled. What's the point of this game?
I wanted to talk about that. We'll come back to it.
Anytime anyone says something is a Tarkov killer, then that automatically means the game is bad, IMO. Walmart escaped from Tarkov, cry laughing emoji. I mean, you take a good few looks at good looks at it, and it's a cheap COD game with zero mechanics and no risk. Looks a lot of fun, but like just play Warzone.
Dude, it's insane.
Nope. I can see this will be a gateway for normies to be interested in Tarkov. Wait, I think they're. I think they're trying to. No, they say, but I can see. So maybe they're saying like no,
nope, not for me, but.
No, like, weed is for like, it's for amateurs, like, but hopefully it'll get them into
crack.
Fucking heroin, like, because I love heroin so much.
Bro, the man, the
K-Kona chills. Okay, I'm hearting this comment. K-Kona chills. These whoever Cell Tank is a real fucking homie. K-Kona chills.
It's crazy that like, oh, okay. So this is what I was going to say. Once again, I truly do want there to be, I truly do.
Cell Tank just said, yo, in chat. There he is.
Hey,
there he is. He's here. All right. Sorry. What were you saying?
That's actually great timing. I truly want there to be more endgame in DMZ. I truly want there to be, like we talked about, more stuff to use with cash, more stuff to grind. I get that. But once again, you take a good point, right? You take a good factual point, not factual, but, and you just shove it as far to the end of the spectrum as you could possibly be. The literal obsession with what's the end game baffles my mind. What's the end game? You don't have an answer? That completely invalidates any fun you've had. Any fun I may have actually already had playing the game. You know how many people come in like, I've had so much fun, but what's the end game? I was like, buddy, you've already arrived at half of it. You played the game and had fun. There's some end game. You know what I mean? Like, and so like,
what's the end game to chess?
Exactly. No, that's what.
Why are there still so many people playing?
You know how many people said
2,000 years later?
You know how many people said this literal thing? What's the end game? I'm just gonna play Warzone. What's the end game of Warzone? You just win a game and you go in and you play another game. Dude, I'm going to explode. I swear to God, Veritas.
Dude, you're going to Subway to get lunch? What's the end game, bro? I'm playing Tarkov.
What's the end game of Subway? I might as well eat McDonald's. It's just food. Either way.
Well, we all know what the end game of both of those is. And it's let's just say you're going to need a couple of these antacid 1000 ultra strength tablets.
But that's what I'm saying, where it's like, what's the end game of DayZ? What's the end game of Warzone? Like, I truly understand, once again, 5% of the argument, because I agree with it. I would like more end game. I would like more things to grind. It'd be cool if there were soft skills or something like that. Something to keep me invested, cosmetics that are at 1,000 hours of gameplay. Give me all those things in DMZ. I want them. That's sick. But you're so obsessed with that minutia of a point that you look like an idiot because you just can't have fun then. And it's like, yes, I get that Warzone is like, it's so funny. People apply all these things and then it all just boils down to like their preference. You know what I mean? And it's like when you engage with someone, they're like, oh, well, I just like PvP. It's like, okay, like, but can you acknowledge that there's a universe where people like a little bit of both, like where it's like the PvE and the PvP? And as soon as they say, yeah, they're like, oh, I'm sorry I said anything. You know what I mean? Because it's like,
and then they walk away like, oh, I'm sorry, sorry you got so offended. And then they walk away and they're thinking like, like, oh, I made my point. Clearly the other person's wrong and they're an idiot. I'm gonna go on not changing anything about my opinions or my life.
So it's like the end game. Yes, I love, like, if you come from Tarkov, you're used to a certain level of, like, there's just, like, never enough stuff to grind for. But, like, man, I want it too, and I'm on your team. But, like, it's such a weird thing. Stop making yourself look stupid. Do you think there should be more endgame? Yes. There's no endgame in this. I'm going to go play another game with no endgame, but I just happen to enjoy a little bit better completely based on my subjective opinions. Because that's what you're saying. Like, it's like, don't make stupid comparisons. I'm just going to go play freaking Warzone where there's literally no endgame. Now, once again, If you like PvP, Warzone's like if you prefer like non-stop PvP action, if you want labs, if you want old factory, you probably want Warzone. It's just 150 people punching themselves in the face. And that's
When you
so
say
much
nonstop,
fun.
you mean 5 minutes and then 20 minutes
Yeah.
of stop.
Yeah, which is, you can make that argument, absolutely. But like, I'm not saying you're wrong. I liked Warzone. I love Battle Royales. Those games are fun. But this is a new experience to be primarily PvE. And it's, I mean, like, once again, it's the same thing. It's why Tarkov's so fun. It's because you never know if that thing you heard was an AI or was a player. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I like that I can be on a mission doing a thing, fighting AI, feeling like a Chad, and then a squad rolls up, and then like that situation, the unexpectedness of that situation. In Warzone, if you hear gunshots, it's a player. If you see someone, it's a player. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a very binary thing, and I understand that. But like, it's just like, don't make such weird comparisons where like,
No, the reason why they're making it is because they have no empathy.
yeah,
It's the same reason why, I mean, the people post the things they do, why they yell the things they do in crowds, why whatever. It's because they, in their minds, they think this has no interest to me and I don't understand it. So therefore, people are all irrational if they're interested, or they think that they're like, the problem is that they just can't put themselves in someone else's shoes. No. They assume they have the right answer.
Yes.
And then they go, well, why do you have the wrong answer?
Yes.
Why do you have the wrong answer?
Yes.
Why do you have the wrong answer?
Assuming that there is a right or wrong answer. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's subjective. What we're asking is a very subjective question. It's what video game do you prefer? You know what I mean? So like,
no, but there's no preference. My preferences are all that matters.
Facts. Yeah. No.
So there is the right answer.
And so once again, to clarify for the inevitable YouTube comments, this game has no end game. I'm just going to play Warzone. That's a dumb statement. I'm not sure if I like DMZ or how its end game is structured. I prefer Warzone. That's a very good statement. You see what I'm saying, YouTube commenters? Jesse's not saying Warzone is bad. Jesse's not saying that Warzone and DMZ don't share a lot of features. What I'm saying is just prevent yourself from sounding like an idiot. Don't say one game has no end game and it sucks, and then say, well, this game has no end game, it's fun. Just say you prefer the experience of one over the other. And nobody will think you're like, I guess not nobody. Well, I won't think you're so dumb. You know what I mean? So it's like, I played 15 hours of DMZ yesterday, and like, I can so understand that people don't like it. It's so much slower than Warzone. It's so much less PvP than Warzone. But once again, so is Tarkov. Like, I had raids where I killed 3 to 5 operators, which are PMCs, and like 70 AI. And people were like, well, are there any players? If I kill 3 people in a Tarkov raid, my chat's like, yo, GG's good raid. Like 3. Like, you know what I mean? 5 PMCs and 60 scavs in a Tarkov raid, and the chat would be pogging out of their minds.
And it would be a 45-minute thing.
Yes. And DMZ, I can be in for 32 minutes, fight 4 players and a bunch of AI, and people are like, AI simulator, LOL. And I'm like, what? You know what I mean? Like, it's a similar, I don't even want to say it's a similar experience, because then people are gonna be like, Jesse said it's like Tarkov. You know, it's like, so it's just the comparisons are very weird. But man, if you want to go for 20 bombs, if you want big, fat 20, 30, 40 player kills, like Warzone is your game, man. And that's totally fine. I'm probably going to check out some Warzone myself, but it's like, you know, it's like we said last week, where like every game is just chests with guns. Like, you can reduce it all the way back to the original game. You know, it's all just hit me with stick and hit you with stick. It all goes back to the beginning, where that was the first game ever. Like it's just like we need the comparisons, and it's so interesting. Now, I will say that Nice Guy basically made this comparison where like everybody, because it's so new, everybody's playing Shoreline and not knowing where the resort is. Like, we're all just like figuring out the map. Like, you can play Shoreline, and if you didn't go to the resort, you can be like,
you can play that map for like 5 hours and never make it to the fucking resort.
Well, you can play that map for 5 hours and not see anyone if you were if you weren't going to the resort. But if you were going to the resort, you could play and it would be like it's
Like
PvP.
the school in PUBG. You drop in
Exactly.
the school, it's like there's 19 of the same blonde chicks all beating the shit out of each other.
So it's kind of like that, where like we started to figure that out. There's always at one specific spot on the map a weapons case that spawns. If a team approaches that, it triggers a dynamic event where a juggernaut will spawn, and it's like a bunch of the top tier AI, and the juggernaut comes down this mountain thing, and if you guys kill the juggernaut, he drops a weapons case. And when you pick up that weapons case, you're tagged on every single other player in the raid for the rest of the raid.
I got a notification. I didn't pay attention to it because I was like doing my own thing, but it was like a enemy team has extracted with a weapon case. I was like, I don't know what the fuck that is, but okay.
So you're tagged on everybody else's screen. So like that is the like insane PvP. Like if you wanted PvP, like me and Nice Guy did a raid last night where he killed 8 players and I killed 5. We killed 13. It was like a quarter of the lobby that we wiped.
Snooze fest.
Because we went for the thing and it was super intense. So it's like there's definitely still an element of that where people just like don't understand the game enough yet to like the first time everybody played Shoreline, Resort wasn't the PvP spot. Everybody was just like walking around figuring out the map, and it was
the main road.
Exactly.
It was the main road in the island.
Yeah.
Where everything went down.
And it sank into a rhythm. So like there are definitely gonna be places like that where like there will be intense PvP. It's very similar to Tarkov, where if you don't want PvP, you probably can avoid it. But if you do, then you're probably gonna find it. I think it's gonna ultimately be pretty similar to that. Somebody, I think Overcast made this in the comments, but I've been really enjoying this when somebody says, this game is fun, but I feel like in 3 weeks it's going to lose all its players. And I'll just be like, you mean like Tarkov? Like, you know what I mean? Like that's the legitimate number one criticism of Tarkov is like late wipe, everybody leaves.
Yeah. Yep.
So I will say, so what we've talked about, they did uber well. The AI, the power fantasy. I think the map is so good. Now, I don't know if the map is as good. Like there are some maps from Warzone 1 that people really liked called Dare of Verdansk. I don't know any about those. So I don't know if this map is better than those maps. But coming from Tarkov's maps are the best in the business. But what I'm saying is coming from Tarkov, having a map this big, that's this traversable with infinite sprint and vehicles and helicopters and dynamic events everywhere. There's 800 of those little green phones, and each of those little green phones represents one of maybe 6 or 7 different types of missions that actually take you to traverse around the map. There's other dynamic events like the boss helicopter, the juggernaut. There's random named bosses that drop cool loot that can't be tracked. You just stumble onto them. There's boat missions. There's map.
There's probably more content on that one map than there is in fucking Tarkov in terms of quests and everything.
Yeah. So like the map,
and they're actually probably richer and far more interesting.
The map is a massive W. It feels alive. There's always stuff to do. There's AI everywhere. You're making a lot of noise. You have to traverse. Like the map to me is a W. It feels really, really cool. And then the quests, I don't know if you ever got into the quests, but like there's more quests than I thought there would be.
I did too.
So there's 4 quests at tier 1 for the first trader or the first faction giver. And then when you get to tier, so basically,
oh God, I didn't do anything with factions.
Well, yeah, those are the quests. So basically like when you clicked,
I just had 3 quests.
Yeah. So there's those 3 quests. When you complete all 3 for that quest giver, you unlock the tier 2 quests, and there's 7 of them, and you unlocked the second quest giver. So now you have 2 quest givers, and each of them have 7 quests. When you get both of those people to their tier 3 quests, so 7 quests, then you get to tier 2, 7 quests, then you get to tier 3, you unlock the third giver. And when you get all 3 to level 5, so like 7 times 5 plus 7 times 5 plus 7 times 5, that's how you unlock your
105.
Your third insured slot. Damn, if you did that, I'd be impressed. I guess 7. What is 7 times?
35 times 3.
Yeah,
105.
You're the best.
Just saying.
So there's 105 quests or around there. So like, yeah, the quests aren't the most engaging in the world, but once again, where are we coming from? You and me. You know what I mean? Like, kill 63 scavs with your left pinky toe. You know what I mean? Or the Jaeger daily tasks. You know what I mean? So like, so there's a lot of quests. And what's interesting is like, unlike Tarkov, where you can complete 17 quests in a raid, if you stack them up, you can only have 3 quests active, which is kind of a bummer, but also kind of nice because it means that you like have to keep playing to finish the quests. You know what I mean? Like there, you can't just get them done. Dailies or weeklies, I think, would be sick in this game too, because like it just adds that level of dynamism for like extra XP or like a blueprint for a weekly or something. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So there's lots of quests.
Yeah, I mean, I only did like 2 of them, and then I had that last thing. I was like too emotionally exhausted.
Yeah,
all of that build up and everything, dude. It was like dying in the final circle. You know, PUBG. You just feel so sad. Like, no, it was like killing the last person, being like, oh my god, I won, and then like dying to the smoke because you realized that you were standing in the wrong spot. Like that's what it felt like, dying in the fucking helicopter. Like you see, dude, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3,
2. I'm dead.
Unbelievable, dude.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
So yeah, I don't know, dude. It's been a really enjoyable experience. Once again, like before the game even launched, the largest criticisms were already addressed. Like the blog that they released the day before DMZ went out, they like signed it off with like, we are excited to continue to provide additional reasons for the players to extract and provide additional uses for cash outside of raid. That was the last line of the DMZ section the day before it launched. So it's like, where's the end game? Where's the end game? Like, they've already acknowledged that they're doing it. It's launched as a beta, and like Call of Duty is set up so perfectly. You've got the battle pass, you've got the seasons. They're like the whole like Warzone, they folded that in where like they folded in the Warzone and the multiplayer. There's the battle pass tiers, the XP, the blueprints, the new guns that come seasonally. Like there's a gun in Call of Duty, the M13. You can only get that gun in Call of Duty by playing the DMZ and killing one of the bosses. You can't unlock it by playing multiplayer. So like they've added cool stuff like that. So it's like they're already in a blueprint for like adding awesome content. And then on top of that, they've directly spoken to the largest criticisms of the game and said that they're working on it. So like I think there stands to reason that there's a possibility that like 6 to 12 months from now, like DMZ is like a really fleshed out game mode. Like Warzone didn't become the Warzone, top 10 most streamed games on Twitch in a year. You know what I mean? Like they like really added tons of features that made that battle royale really unique and really fun compared to other ones. And that's why it dominated. Who's to say that that doesn't happen for DMZ too,
Yeah. I wonder how long it's going to take for it to like, what would kill it is if it just got overrun with cheaters.
Yes.
Especially because it's free. Well, wait a minute. It's not free. It's
free.
Don't you have to see? There were some articles, and I was just kind of like reading the headline and some of the. I was trying to find a fucking picture for a thumbnail, so I wasn't really paying much attention to the details. But it was like I was under the impression that you had to buy the game, but when they said free, it was the new game mode. You didn't have to buy that when it came out.
Yeah. So Warzone has been free. Like Warzone for years, Warzone has been free, and like DMZ is a part of Warzone. So it's the same install. So like you literally, if you don't have the game right now, you just go to Battle.net or Steam or whatever and just click install Warzone. It's going to install 50 gigs, 100 gigs, whatever it is. And they're going to try every opportunity to get you to buy the $70 game, but you can play Warzone and DMZ for free.
Yeah. See, so to me, what it feels like is it is a in many ways, it's kind of like you're talking about the intensity curve.
Yeah.
Of like BRs, it's like intense at the beginning, then it's dead, and then if you survive, it's intense again.
Yeah.
Whereas Tarkov is like dead. Actually, it depends on the map. It's either it's either exactly the same, where it's except the intensity of like the big spike in intensity at the end is not at the end of anything other than when you like it might be 5 minutes in, it might be 50 minutes in. You don't know when it's going to be because it could just happen out of nowhere, and there might be multiple. It feels like this has like a much higher average with maybe not as high of a peak. So it's like a much more condensed, it's high octane, high action. When you die, you don't have like the lowest of the low feelings like you do in Tarkov. It definitely just feels like a less like toxic, and I mean, dare I say, more casual. Which again is not a fucking bad thing.
Absolutely. But they deliver that. You're exactly right. A really good way to put that is like, if we've got the graph, and like it doesn't start at the bottom of the graph. The whole raid, what they do a really good job of is delivering intensity, or not necessarily intensity, but delivering action to you 24/7. You can't
spawn in and there's AI. I like ran up the stairs. There's AI right
and
there,
you can't get from point to point without getting in a fight. So that action is not as intense as fighting other players, right? Because there's always so much more at stake when you're fighting players. You want to win, but it's not Warzone in the mid game where you're just running across the map and finding nothing. So it's like a constant stream, and then you get these spikes when you run into players, and then once you hit a certain point in the map, it's just an upward curve because you're like racing the radiation, you're racing to the extract with the other people, and so it does kind of compress it and make it a little bit more casual in the best way, where you're always doing something, you're always feeling like a god, you're always feeling like an operator, and then you have these moments of really intense fights, really intense moments, you're racing against the clock, and when you die, it doesn't feel as bad as dying in Tarkov. It's not as low, so it's like, that's a good way to put it, and I really like where it is. And do I think it's perfect? No, but I like it as a start.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yep. I mean, it's just like food, man. Like you like spicy food, you're gonna have to deal with it later on. Maybe you like a little, maybe you like. I can't think of any more food metaphors, but sometimes people really prefer one kind of food. Sometimes people like all kinds of food. Some people don't like one particular kind of food at all, and they're gonna stay away from it. That's fine. Just like stop fucking pretending like your preferences are the only preferences.
Absolutely. Yep. It is
real. I got 5 Guys coming on the way. Uber Eats.
That's amazing.
That hamburger and a nice little shake.
Cajun fries?
No, I didn't get the Cajun fries. Listen, Cajun fries is like Tarkov. Everybody's like, "Did you get Cajun fries, bro?" I'm like, "No, I got regular fries." Like, "Oh, you didn't get 5 Guys if you didn't get the Cajun fries. You fucking casual."
Honestly, though, like I asked because I do like their Cajun fries, but two things. One, if I'm door dashing 5 Guys, honestly, probably skip the Cajun fries. They're $69, and they're just gonna be soggy when they get home. Nice. 2. Like 5 Guys fries aren't that good, honestly.
Whoa, dude. Okay, what the I'm sorry, what the fuck?
Yeah, they're not that great. The only thing that makes them good is the Cajun seasoning. McDonald's fries are better, objectively, not an opinion. It's a fact. I'm just saying.
Oh my God. Once again, I'm taking applications for a new co-host for the podcast because
their burgers make up for it. S tier. But the fries are like C tier.
Interesting. Now, see, so we just talked about all these things that are subjective, and what I will say is,
I was joking about the objectiveness. Somebody in chat's gonna be somebody on the YouTube comment.
No, of course, but I'm not joking when I say that In-N-Out Burger's fries are objectively the worst fries on planet Earth.
Yeah, I was disappointed in those fries.
Utterly, dude, I took Ghost Freak. Literally, we went, and I took Ghost Freak because I was driving him around when we had TwitchCon, and I was, he was kind of like, "I'm here. I really want to get, I really want to get In-N-Out.
I
And I'm
did
like,
that, yeah.
In-N-Out is one of those things, like when I go to California, I'm going to get an In-N-Out burger because I feel like I have to do it, and they
Yep.
don't have it, but they're not, they're good,
Yeah.
but the fries are complete and utter fucking, I was like, I said, dude, they're going to be cold. They're
Yeah.
going to taste like cardboard. They're going to taste like raw potato, and there will be no seasoning. There's no salt. There's just nothing on it.
Yeah.
And he got it, and he took the first bite. He's like, yo, your description was spot on. And then the next day, before the podcast, I took him to Five Guys, and I've never seen a man
Yeah.
inhale burger and fries so quickly in his life. He's like, yeah, man, you're onto something here.
I mean, I agree. I would probably take Five Guys fries over In-N-Out fries for sure. But like, there are so many better ways to make fries. Like, I get that it's like the rough and tumble. You just take a potato, you leave the skin on, you just hack it up, and it's thick. But they're just not as crispy. They're a little soggy in the middle. They don't really. The Cajun seasoning is good, but like the only sauce. I'm a sauce connoisseur. All right, and it's just like ketchup. You know what I mean? Like, there's no Five Guys sauce. There's no honey mustard. There's like, you can ask for barbecue, but I feel like dude, I'm a sauce.
You're a connoisseur. And you're saying that McDonald's. Oh God.
Well, no.
Almighty. Listen,
I'm not comparing McDonald's
fries
sauces. McDonald's
it's
fries.
a generic salty vector to put ketchup in your mouth. That's what it is. That's why they're good.
All fries are.
No, I mean,
All
dude,
fries.
when you have a nice,
Our sauce
thickly
scoopers.
cut, crispy fry with maybe a little bit of the skin on it, and, you know, the Five Guys is the closest you'll get to fast food being okay. But listen, I mean, I feel like we're gonna have to go to couples therapy to make our way.
Listen, that being said, I would like never say no. I don't want to go to Five Guys. Like, their burgers are just so good.
So fucking.
But
good.
the fries, dude. Have you ever been to a PDQ? It's a chicken place.
Negative.
They have really good fries. They have waffle fries that are like, make Chick-fil-A's fries literally taste like cardboard after you have PDQ fries.
The Frycast, or it's now the Frycast.
Frycast?
PDQ? Where the fuck is there a PDQ?
I don't know. I mean, they're all over Jack's, but like, I hadn't really seen one before then.
Dude, when I drove down to New Orleans way back in the day, when I was driving my sister, she went to college at University of New Orleans for like a year, and I drove 24 hours straight, her Scion TC with a patched, like, half flat tire,
God.
with like everything she owned in the car, and that had approximately 11 square feet of, like, it was like I was driving and there was like, you know, a desk leg over my shoulder, and it was with my sister. It was the most miserable 24 hours of my life. But we passed by maybe 150,000 Waffle Houses, and I'm like, I'm sick of looking at these. I have to fucking stop and get it. And it was like, oh, it's like a Wendy's got addicted to meth. No, wait, did I say Wendy's? I meant, sorry, Denny's.
Yeah.
Not Wendy's. Denny's.
Yeah, that's actually
Wendy did never. Wendy's
like, Denny's.
She never got addicted. Yeah.
Denny's drug addict cousin is Waffle House, and Denny's is already not great.
Yeah. No, Denny's is like the guy that like dropped out of high school because of drugs or whatever, but like not hard stuff, just kind of lazy or whatever.
Yeah.
Waffle House is like the one that you see now that has like. Never mind.
Now I will say, Waffle House is the go-to after midnight place to eat, though. When your standards are so much lower because you're exhausted, it's so good.
You mean to tell me if there's a Denny's on one side of the street and a Waffle House on the other, you're gonna go to Waffle House?
Legitimately, it depends.
If you're
on the
like
time
wasted
of the
at
day.
2 a.m.
Yep.
Damn.
6 a.m. I'm going to Denny's. 2 a.m. I am going to Waffle House.
I don't think I would choose. I'll go to Waffle House if it's like 2 exits closer, but
yeah.
I mean, listen, beggars can't be choosers. If I'm hammered and it's 2 a.m., I'm gonna enjoy me some Waffle House.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
But
okay. Well,
dude, I love. Well, I'm glad that you've got Five Guys on the way. I'm jealous. I did have pizza for dinner.
yeah, because of my whole like esophageal fucking issues,
Oh, yeah.
I'm literally like I'm not eating pizza. I'm not eating like
Sad.
pasta with red sauce. I've been drinking fucking water, dude. Like
Yeah.
my pee was clear for the first time in 30 years the other day.
Oh God.
which I hear is a good thing.
I've
but
heard,
honestly,
I guess, is
I've always
okay.
preferred it to be like Mountain Dew green, you know?
highlighter
That-
yellow.
I want to turn the light off and I want that shit to glow. That's how I know I'm getting all the right
Yeah,
vitamins and minerals,
Yep.
chemicals.
Yep.
That reminds me, I can literally do like a 90-second story time that somehow feels appropriate here really quickly. One day, I was driving down the road. I was leaving. This is when I commuted.
Okay.
I commuted 1 semester of college. I was driving down the road, and it was like the beginning of a blizzard. And there was like a little bit of a bigger, older woman with like a coat, but like no hood, no gloves, just walking on the sidewalk.
Mm.
And I'm like, I can't let this lady walk in the
Yeah.
What the? So I pull over, and I'm like, "Do you need a ride?" Assuming that she'd be like, "No," you know. She's like, "Sure." And I'm like,
What have I done?
okay, well that escalated quickly. So I'm like, "So where are we going?" And she's like, "Oh, I'll just tell you as we go." And I'm like, so I'm already kind of like,
What?
I'm.
No.
She's like, I don't know the address, but I'm like,
Unacceptable
oh.
answer.
And of course, we're going towards like, I grew up in like the suburbs,
Yeah,
like upper middle class part. But there's a part of the city I grew up in where it's like, it's not the greatest part, but it's also like not like it's Detroit or whatever. People were shot and stabbed, but in very small numbers.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she's directing me into this thing, and then at some point she pulls out a paper, and it's like a notebook paper, and it has. From not even on the lines, but like the margin above and the margins on the side, like if you ripped out from the top inch to the bottom right inch was handwritten in the most furious pen with like highlighted in like red and highlighted in yellow. Dude, if I knew I was going to be a content creator, I would have had this framed and held onto it. I don't know what I did with it. I think I just threw it out the next time I went to like the dumpster to clean my car out. It was all about the government's microwave technology to take over your brains and the aliens. And I'm like, lady, you need to tell me where I'm dropping you. So I end up going in like the ghetto, basically.
Bro.
And she's like, pull over there. And there's like 3 dudes that were scary to my fucking suburban ass. And as I pull over, they like start walking towards the car. I'm just like, get out of the fucking car, get out of the car. And all I had from that was the sheet, which I wish I had to this day about the microwave technology.
Bro.
I'll never know this woman's story, but now you all have my story.
She knew, bro. Chills. Okay, Kona.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Every time I go to the microwave, I think for 1 second, I'm like,
wait a minute.
It's government?
Am I
Nah.
giving some brainwaves over?
I think I'm good. I'm the type of person that puts like the hot pocket in, and I just
stare
at the thing.
Forehead on the glass. Bro, imagine if you had done that in the time of the 5G. It would have been an entire moleskin written furiously.
That was my naive, trying to be the guy that did the good thing. I think today, if I saw someone walking down there, I'd be like, "No, but you're on your own.
Yeah.
Fuck off. I just keep driving."
You see this blizzard, man? Get out of here.
Yeah. Like you could be patient 0. What am I gonna do? I'm not picking you up. I'm like, do you have any notebook paper on you? If you don't, I'll let you in the car. But
oh, that's so good.
Anyway, that's story time.
Story
with
time.
Veritas.
We should reprise this.
I've got a list of stories that I've been wanting to tell. I did like the equivalent of a fucking high-speed car chase that was condoned by the police, which was amazing, in the middle of a snowstorm. Drunk driver crashed like 6 times in front of me. Another woman had. I've got so many stories.
Wow.
I should add the bullet points to our little notes here.
Yeah.
Story time.
Story time.
Seizure lady, drunk driver, high speed chase.
How are these real?
Yeah, no, I've got a list somewhere.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
I've had an interesting life.
I love it. And I want more of it.
Yeah, and you need to learn about the Borg. You want to, when you described like the word assimilate as if that was like a novel word in your vocabulary. Like, oh, that was a great word for it. And I instantly knew that you had no idea what the Borg was. And so now you need to Google. Well, I'll get you the link. The Borg. I bet you they have a Wikipedia page. Listen, I didn't watch Star Trek, but
at least I know.
But my dad did.
The general direction we're leaning now. Star Trek. Okay,
yeah.
Understood. Send me the Borg.
There's the Wikipedia page. I put it in chat. Listen, I'm not going to try to explain it because the actual like real Trekkies would probably crucify both of us. But I know enough to know that the Borg in their cube, they assimilate.
That's incredible.
Anyway.
Well, that's the stuff. Not a whole lot happening in Tarkov. Hopefully we get more stuff soon. DMZ is fun. DMZ is fun, and just shut up about it if you don't think so. And some lady tried to convince Veritas of the truth about the microwave radiation, and he didn't
read the literature,
and he didn't want to listen. So I think that's about it. But dude, the audio listeners aren't getting any of this.
I'm doing every possible hand trick I possibly can here.
The secret word, if you made it this far, is you need to type the fast food restaurant with the best fries.
Oh God, I've never wanted to avoid a YouTube comment section more than I'm gonna.
Listen, what we need to do is if you've made it this far, then you understand us, and we need to outnumber the amount of people that are going to make comments about things we actually like talk about in the video. You know what I mean? Like where we say something and they're like, you should have talked about this.
No, they're going to make comments about us.
Yeah. We need to outnumber them with French fry ratings. Okay? That's the goal.
Agreed.
But guys, thank you so much for hanging. This will be live early next week. Maybe we'll get some Tarkov news, but if not, love you. We'll see you next time.
Peace.